Hello, everyone. My name is Edith, also known as Lady E, and welcome to the Lady E Effect podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, we interview purpose-driven professionals through the media lens, through personal development and business optimization that are doing phenomenal things around the world for people, businesses, and communities. If that is something that's interesting for you, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and all of our audio podcasts that will be in the description. For those that know me, I love to get right into it. We always have the best of the best that come to join us and share phenomenal testimonial stories about their expertise and just how they're shaping great things around the world. So, of course, today's episode is nothing different. So, without taking any more time, thank you so much for joining us today. Please introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
Thank you so much, Edith, for having me on your absolutely brilliant show. It is indeed a super honor for me to be here. Hi, everyone. I am Pooja Marwah, and I am from Mumbai, India. And I'm absolutely elated to be here with all of you and with Edith. So thank you very much. I am by profession. I started working only 2 years ago at 42. And believe me, I haven't looked back since. By profession, I am a content writer for global leaders and Fortune 500s, as well as an author. I have written one book on relationships, on the complexities of relationships in the world today, which I think, by the way, all of us at some or the other point in time in life have kind of been through it, whether it's been with family, with children, with friends. We always have had some sort of a relationship struggle or anxiety. And I have two more books coming up, so I'm really excited. Between my content writing journey as well as my author journey, I'm actually in the midst of two of the most amazing worlds, and I'm really happy to be doing something that I am passionate about.
Wow, that is phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited to get into our interview and our segment today. So, first and foremost, I would love to start with what you shared. You started your career 2 years ago at the age of 42. Now, for most of us, we have been programmed to think that you're supposed to start your careers growing up, in your 20s and maybe your late 30s. But basically, we've been programmed to think that a lot of times your professionalism and your expertise should already be established by your 40s. And I love the fact that you have such a unique story, especially with the fact that you started your career officially at 42. And the fact that you said you never look back is such a powerful statement. A lot of us, we definitely through personal development, life experiences, we have a lot of challenges when it comes to, who am I? What do I have to offer, right? And we have to understand, number one, your life is purpose. We were created to fulfill a purpose. And sometimes it may not look like that if maybe early on you're starting in your motherhood stage, or maybe your parental stage, or maybe you're studying to be a particular profession and it takes maybe 8 to 10 years, whatever the case may be. But I love the fact that you started your career at the age of 42. And the fact that you never look back is something that is definitely the first question I would like to get into. Please share with us your background story that led you into your career and everything that you're operating in now.
Okay, so I've been born and raised in Mumbai, which is, of course, a city that most of the world knows of in India. And I was sent to boarding school when I was 9 years old, up in Dehradun, where I currently live. The prime time of my life, I would say, I was at boarding school, and then I got an opportunity to go to the United States at 15 in 1996. Now, Edith, you have to understand, 1996, we never had mobile phones. We didn't know Google. So my parents literally put me on this flight with other exchange kids, really scared, really frightened, and just sent us off on this Rotary International Exchange to different parts of the United States. And I got Storm Lake in Iowa, which was a really small town. Even back then, it's small even now, but I still remember my host parents. My host father isn't alive anymore, but I just recently met with my host mother after almost 30 years, and it was an incredible experience. for me, because that 1 year really changed my life in the sense that I was a very shy, reserved kind of girl, and going out there all on my own, that 1 year, I realized that the world is open if we dare to dream and if we dare to fly.
Mm.
But turns out that yes, that year was really great. But then I came back to India and I did college, and that's where I met my husband now. I guess when you're 18, 19, love, sunshine, those things kind of play a very important role. And I kind of dived right in. I was married really young at 24. Before I knew it, I had a child. And then it was just like, okay, I don't think I can work, because it was a really small town that I live in now. And 20 years ago, I've been married almost 23 years. And 20 years ago, there was nothing here for me to do. Even online, the only thing I really knew how to do really well was write,
Mm.
and I was passionate about technology. So I used to upskill, I used to learn a lot. And, of course, the internet came, Google came, AI came, and everything just started coming in. And I had a miscarriage, and then I had my second daughter. After that, I think somewhere I also gave up, in the sense I was just home and I loved every moment of that. No regrets at all. Because I feel that whether you're a working woman or you're a stay-at-home mom, those are choices that we make. And I'm super happy with the choice I made at that point of time, because of the bond that I share with both my girls. And I would not trade that for anything. But when my elder one was deciding to go to college to the United States, I think somewhere, the girl sat me down and said, "You've done it all for us for the last 2 decades. Don't you think it's time you live for yourself?" And I was getting a little gray, and we had this little joke amongst us. And they said it very casually, Edith, but it really hit me. And I started writing. Unfortunately, for all of us in India and the world, Corona hit, but it gave me a lot of time to introspect and write. And I wrote three books at that point of time. One is already published, two more are to come. But that's when I started writing seriously.
Mm.
Even then, it was more like, I just want to write. I want to be an author. That's something that I know how to be and I want to be. I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to be known in the literary world. And I know I will at some point of time. That's a belief I have in myself. But turns out that, because of Corona, of course, the publishing all took a hit. Everything is in the pipeline, but it'll come when it comes. I always believe that everything has a time, a perfect time and a perfect place. You do your bit and then just leave the rest to the universe. And meanwhile, I started writing on LinkedIn, and I got noticed by a leader in India, a very, very powerful, the third most powerful man in India. He read one of my blogs in the newspaper, in the local paper. I used to just blog on a whim. And I was called for an interview, and just like that, I got a job at 42. And I was like, really? I'm writing for him? Like, I had to take care of all his, English speeches, his English content. He wanted his personal brand to kind of be uplifted. And for me, it was like, oh my goodness, this is the person that the whole country looks up to. And I'm sitting right in front of him, having a cup of coffee and writing for him his words. And, when he used to speak it at the G20s and all these international conferences that we have in India, when someone of that stature is speaking what you have written, it gives you goosebumps. Okay, nobody in the world knows, nobody in the country knows that I've written it, but I know, and he knows. And for me, that is important. And
Mm.
from there, by referrals, I got a few more kind of DMs, inquiries on LinkedIn, if I could write for them. And that's how my writing started, writing articles, opinion pieces, blogs for leading companies, leading people of the world. These are people, Edith, you have to understand, I've only always aspired to kind of, see, you read about them in the papers and you see what they're doing, but you never imagine that I'm going to be sitting across a Zoom meeting and talking to them. But I'm really, really happy to tell you and our wonderful audience that, dreams do come true. I mean, this wasn't even a dream,
Mm.
but it was something I wanted to do, and they do come true. But the only thing is that you have to absolutely believe in it with an insane amount of conviction. And you have to trust that it's going to happen for you. Because I always say that the universe doesn't want you to try harder. It just wants you to trust it more and free fall. And I think that's what I did, right? And yeah, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving my journey so far, and I'm sure whatever happens, because I think I am of the temperament that I take every day as a new day. And when the day gets over, like it's about almost quarter to 10 p.m. in India at this point, for me, the day gets over when I sleep, and that's it. I don't carry it off tomorrow. It took me a while to learn this, but I'm at a much, much better space in my life today than I was maybe 2, 3 years ago when I started. So yeah, loving it.
Hmm, that was a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
I love how you said that when it comes to dreams, dreams come true. And a lot of times, as you said, this wasn't even a dream that you had in particular, but your passion for writing was always there. So it's funny when we go back to our childhood, regardless of the when the time frame is, because you said this is very true. Everything that is connected to our purpose has an appointed time. But then when you think about your life leading up to it, there's kind of like bits and pieces that show you along the way when you go back and reflect on it, like, I was already operating in my purpose. This was just the particular season that it was going to expand. It was going to take off, right? And belief is something that's super powerful when you doubt, when you're discouraged, when your mind is weary. It's kind of hard to focus on, okay, I can do this, right? And belief is such a powerful, powerful gift that we have been blessed with God to give us. So I love the fact that just your journey, it's a beautiful journey. And, as you said best, a man that your whole country looks up to that is coming to you like, wow, this is what you do. I need you. I need your expertise. I need your gifts to help expand me far beyond what people think they know about me. And for the whole essentially the world, let alone your country that may not know who you are, but is reading, the context of what you put together on the behalf of the leader of your country is something very powerful. That is something very powerful, especially us as foreign women. I myself am a foreign woman. I come from Nigeria, although I was born in the Maryland, DC, Virginia location. I come from Nigerian background, an Igbo background, and a background where our leaders are, important to the people that are in our countries. And, for your leader to come to you at a time that you did not expect at all, and something that you didn't just pick up, it was already in you growing up. There were just times where, in the development of what was going to lead you to fulfilling your purpose full round, you became a mother, you became a wife, and these are also a part of your purpose too. So I think also as women, there's the pressure of, okay, you got to be a mom, you got to be a wife, you got to be stay at home, you have to be, in your career, when in reality, you can do all of the above. It's just a matter that certain seasons, okay, this is the time to be a wife, because just like you started your career at 42, you weren't too young to get married. At 24, that's younger than maybe some other people, but that's not too young of an age. And I think a lot of times we get too caught up in, at this age, this is supposed to be done this way. And everybody's story is very unique and different. And God has a particular way on how he's going to appoint you to do certain things in your season. So it is actually a beautiful order that was put together for you. You became a wife first, you met your husband, and you both have been inseparable since. And then you had the blessings of having your children. And definitely, my heart goes out to you in regards to your miscarriage. That is something that, a lot of women do face. And um, the beautiful thing is having your second child, your second daughter, and just the pivotal things that I'm sure they have been used to do since. And for them to come to you as your children and say, listen, you've done all of this for us. What about you? That is so important for us as women to remember, whether we're mothers or not, whether we're wives or not. We have that nurturing space in us where we want to take care of everybody else,
I agree.
Yes, whether they're our husbands, our significant others, our children, our nieces, our nephews, our country, our nation, the earth. We want to take care of other people. We are very intentional and passionate about the needs of other people, whether it's other women, other men, other children. And there's a point where are we going to take care of us, right? Even if you take this into the professional space, right? Of course, we love and we care about our clients. Our clients are top tier. Business owners, business professionals, we have no business without clients, right? So we want to make sure that when we be of service to our clients, we wow our clients. But a lot of times we forget ourselves. We put our needs and priorities that keep us in a sound mind, a well-being, a healthy space, we kind of put it on the back burner, just like, oh, I got to take care of everybody else. Let me, do this for myself somewhere down the line. When in reality, a lot of times, even clients have come to me in the past, are you okay? How
How
do you
sweet.
feel? And it's important to understand we're not robots. We work with technology, and technology is great in the ways that we can use it to perform our expertise. But we also need to remember that we matter. We have a purpose, and taking care of other people is a part of our nature. However, we have a purpose. So I love the fact that going into your journey of officially starting your career, which was already there, it was already there and it was molding, it was developing, it was shaping into where it is now. And that was the pivotal season for it to really expand because a lot of people start in different journeys. Sometimes people may start like yourself in a small town. They may start in something where there's not too many resources or different things like that. But for you to start your career, especially and your purpose really and your destiny in a place where the leader of your country came to you. You didn't even search for it. He came to you organically and he requested for your expertise, your service, because I myself too, as a writer and author, writing is so powerful. It's so powerful, similar to
Yeah.
work, similar to speeches. It's so powerful to write, whether it's a story, whether it is, research, it's something that is very pivotal, especially when you're representing a person, a being, a business, a brand. It can really expand, how they're known as. And that is a powerful, powerful, beautiful gift and tool that you have in various areas, I'm sure. So I love the fact that you did not let your age or any of the things that you've gone through to withhold the purpose that was already there. And I believe, especially as women, whether it's women of color, foreign women, and women in general, need to understand that age means nothing, even for men out there too. We keep being programmed to think that, okay, if I'm 50, this is too old for this. If I'm 40 something, this is too old for that. If I'm 60 or 70, it's too old for that. When in reality, there's so many stories out there where people started things that to the world it may seem like, wow, how did this person do that? Or this is a miracle, or that's impossible. One thing about humans, we have a purpose, and there's nothing impossible for us when we understand that our belief comes from who created us. And also, when we are ready to do it and we have that belief there, that's all we need. Believing
Yeah.
is a superpower. So I love the fact that this is a space that you're in now. So I just want to shift a little bit into my next question. So in regards to the space of work with writing, I love the fact that you're an author and congratulations on your book that's
Thank
already
you.
out,
Thank you.
as well as your two books that are coming out. Books are amazing. They're universal. You can really use it to tell a story, get value information out there. It really drives the emotion of the reader. So in your space of expertise, if you can share with the audience more your areas of expertise, maybe some of the people that you work with outside of the leader of your country, and just your intention of what you want to use your gifts for writing to do for the people.
Sure. Thank you so much, Edith, for such a lovely question. First, and I do want to add a little bit to what you said about we are kind of conditioned to believe that, whether you're 50 or 60, that, hey, you're too old for this, or, this is not at your age. There's this very typical thing that you say, how can you do this at your age? It could be anything, but it's like, aren't you too old for this? Or, whatever, like, especially color. If you wear, like, say, bright red lipstick at 60, it's like, how are you wearing red? And, I always wonder when people say that, why? She can wear red, she can do whatever. I mean, how does it matter? It's her choice. It's her it's a part of her body. She can do whatever she wants with it, right? Why should an age dictate? Because I firmly believe that life can begin at 10, life can begin at 20, life can begin at 40, 60, even 80. Because life begins when you want it to begin. And I think that is something that when when I had that casual conversation and I decided that, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do. And I guess a part of me perhaps was looking for that little validation, which came to me in the form of a blessing when, you know, this gentleman kind of reached out. I'm sorry, I can't say officially who I'm writing for because,
Mhm.
yeah, he is one of our top leaders. But the fact of the matter is that it was very, very humbling to be sitting across him and understanding as to why, you know, when the initial call came for me, it was a shock because it was like, why are they calling me? I haven't done anything wrong. And everybody in the house was like, hey, what have you done wrong? And I was like, nothing. I have no idea. But it was quite funny. Excuse me. But having said that, yeah, coming to your question as to what I am doing as of right now is, of course, writing full time. And what I love about writing full time is that as much as people say that, you know, you need to get to an office, you need to work with people, I think that it is very, very easy. The technology has made us very, very close. Otherwise, how would you sitting in the United States and me sitting in a small town in India be having this conversation with such clarity? So well, I always say this to, you know, people. I've got a few offices of few big companies that have called to say, hey, we'd like you to join us. And I've always declined, irrespective of the amount of, you know, figures that they add to their package. Because for me, what I enjoy is the freedom of working for my time. If I need to take off on one day because I'm overburdened, I should be able to. I think, you know, we cross this wave once. We only have as many trips around the sun. And I don't want to be answerable for a majority of the rest of my life. So when I started writing content online, especially on LinkedIn, what I realized was that there is a whole world out there. And one thing that people don't have is time. So I changed things around and I started marketing myself with the tagline of I help you save time. And that is something that got a lot of the CXOs, the C-suites across the world, as well as leaders, people who run parts of countries and companies, reach out to say, hey, this line kind of, you know, intrigued me. And I feel when somebody sends you a DM, like that's how you and I connected,
Mhm.
either you say yes and move on, or you politely decline and it ends right there. But 9 out of 10 people who reach out to you on DM are interested in what you offer. So
Yeah.
it always gets onto a phone call. And when you get onto a phone call and when we have an initial conversation, you know, what I realize is that a lot of people in today's world, you have there is a certain amount of presence that you need if you want to sell your company or your brand or your product or your service, because people buy from people are not buying from companies. They're going to buy from an emotion that that particular product or service has evoked in them, right?
Mhm.
Something has to touch you, and that is what I feel like you very rightly said. Writing is really powerful, whether you write blogs or you write articles or you write LinkedIn posts. It's a very, very powerful medium because you can, through your words, convince another person to take action. How
Yes.
many people can do that, you
Mhm.
know? And so that's when content writing started for me. And I didn't realize the power of content writing till I came onto LinkedIn. And, you know, initially it started with a few, you know, random pieces of blogs and articles. But now when I'm managing personal brands for people in by way of writing, I
Mhm.
truly understand that it is such a powerful medium because it can literally make and break you. And fun fact here, you know, when you have conversations with people that, for example, if I'm writing for you, hey, Edith's audience and my audience, this is for you. Fun fact, you end up obviously telling me about a lot of your life because, you know, you have three types of funnels and content, which we call tofu, mofu, and bofu, and which is top of the funnel, which is personal stories, because once again, I need to be able to relate to you. And
Yeah.
there has to be something about you that makes me want to know more about your product or service. So that personal story, I'm not saying, open out your, bear out your heart and just, start a dear diary. But that personal story helps. And, when you know so many stories from so many people and you can't share it, it's like, I think I'm putting on weight on my tummy because of that. And I always have this joke with my clients that, I know too much. And they're like, yeah, you literally have the power to destroy us, but then we trust you enough to know that you will not say a word, because it works on trust. And for me, just that word, when people of that stature kind of look up look up to you to say that we trust you to manage us and to handle our public image and public profile, Edith, it says a lot. For me, I sleep. There are times that I get overwhelmed that how did this happen to me?
Mm.
But it did. And I don't know how, but you very rightly said that it was a process. It was happening all the while. It's just that when the season changes, it just changes a one-off day and everything just fits in place. And that's how it happened for me. So yeah, so I am a whole tummy full of secret stories, personal moments, which of course will showcase eventually in all their, opinion pieces or LinkedIn posts for the matter. But it's a fun place to be in, actually, I feel like an agony aunt without the agony part of it.
Yes, that is amazing. I love the fact that you talked about trust. Trust is so important in business. And that's what branding is about. You said it wisely. People buy from people, not the business. Like your personal identity is still shaping the brand of your business. Do we know the face of some of these large companies? We may, some of them we don't, but there's still something personable that is coming through the branding of the company where people say, hmm, okay, for people over this age, or for people that are struggling with getting this problem solved. For people that are curious here, it's relatable. It opens up a place where trust can take place, especially when it comes to your clients. Clients is kind of like, although family members are different, clients is kind of like another layer of that, if have you so. There are very intimate details and experiences and information that they're sharing with you that they may not even share with their family members, especially due to the title roles. If they're world leaders, if they're in particular positions, there are a lot of areas of confidentiality that they have to keep to themselves, or they keep in a very, 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 very tight space. So being a writer, being a reporter, being a narrator, on someone's behalf, where even if they're sharing with you their life, that's between you and that person. And that is important that you share that because, a lot of times you said it perfectly. They literally said to you that you could destroy us with the information we've trusted you with, but we trust you that you won't say a word. That's a powerful statement. And that right there is how you're able to be respected in what you do. You respect privacy, you respect information, you respect experiences. As powerful as it is to tell a story, it also is extremely powerful to know a story and keep it private, especially us that whether people see our faces or we're behind the scenes of someone that they may not even know that we're connected to. Privacy is so important, especially in today's world. We see social media, we see things on billboards, we see things in newspapers, we see things in various forms of digital marketing and media and things of that nature. However, privacy is something that, especially when people are in the eye of the public, they're yearning for privacy. They need
Yeah.
privacy. They may not want to always share with someone the world, maybe a tragedy that they're experiencing, or, maybe they just want to have some alone time. So I love the fact that you highlighted the importance of trust, the importance of understanding that people do buy from people. And, it's funny because a lot of times people say it's not personal, it's business. In reality, it's about personal. If I'm doing business with you, I have to trust you on a personal level. So it still comes back to a personal relationship. Of course, keeping it professional, platonic is absolutely important, especially us as women. You know, we a lot of times may be focused based on our looks and, you know, we're women and, you know, some people may have inappropriate mindsets in terms of where that relates to. So of course, your authority, your stance is important, but being able to just be who you are and trustworthy in business is super, 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 super critical, especially when there are very critical details that your clients and just people in general, even in your personal life, there's critical details that people don't even know how to open up to, but they open up to you and you respect the territory of what they've confided in you about, which makes you even more of who you are because trust is so important in relationships, just like communication is important in relationships. Yes, professionalism, but trust and communication are top keys in relationships. So thank you so much for sharing that. I have about two more questions for you before we close out. This has been a wonderful segment. So, as you have touched bases on being a wife, being a mother, and starting your career at such a phenomenal age, and just your story just being so wonderful, honestly. What would be your advice to women, whether they're around your age, whether they're over 50, over 60, whatever it is, that are wives, that are mothers, come from even a foreign country or even America, that have maybe started their careers later on, or maybe have been told, okay, you have this, you have that going on, this is not appropriate for you. What is your message to the women that are or can relate to your story? What is the message that you have for them?
Thank you very much, Edith, for this question, because I definitely want to direct this question to a majority of women in India specifically, also women of color across the world, because I feel that a lot of people, a lot of women especially, bow down to this thing of what will people say.
Mm,
And I think this one statement of what will people say has killed more dreams than anything else in the world, because
mm,
women, I guess by nature, when I say women, I don't mean to generalize here because that would be incorrect, but a lot of women that I have known and that I meet along the way, I have realized that they've just kind of given up or gotten into the fact that this is it and I can't do anything more than I am.
mm,
And with social media, what I feel, a part of social media, yes, it's very good and it's out there and it's given a lot of people a lot of uh, a scope to kind of, be out there and project whatever they want to, whether it's cooking or something that they're making from home or just talking or teaching. It's giving you a lot of avenues to explore. But at the same time, what it's also doing, not subtly, but absolutely directly, is it's bringing to surface envy and jealousy and a lot of
mm,
negative emotions, because, what you're doing is a lot of women, especially in my country, as just aimlessly scrolling reels and checking out what is the other person doing.
mm,
And that is causing a lot of grief and anxiety in them because they feel unaccomplished. And my message to them is
mm.
first snap out of social media and
Yes.
believe in yourself. You have to give yourself a dream. I tell everybody that, because if you don't have a dream, what are you waking up every morning for? There has to be something that
Mm,
makes you jump out of bed every single morning. It could be your kids, it could be your husband, it could be your career, it could be an activity, it could be the gym, it could be a boxing class, it could be dance, it could be a lover, whoever, but there has to be something in your life that you derive purpose from, that makes you, when you wake up in the morning, literally stretch your arm out and say, thank you for giving me another day. This is what I want to do today. Because if you don't have that dream or that goal, when you wake up, you don't feel the energy. You feel very listless. I have seen the change in me, Edith, over the last 2 years, that, when I used to wake up, yes, I was a very happy person even waking up then. But now it's energetic, it's different.
Mhm.
Like when I wake up, it's like I want Pretty Woman playing, somewhere. Like I wake up to Pretty Woman every morning because I love that soundtrack. It takes me back to Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, because that was a movie that just stayed with me, and I just loved every part of the movie. That's a personal choice, but that's something that wakes me up. But I mean, it's so peppy, it's so fun. So when I wake up, for me, my brain is already charged. And when I sleep at night, like I mentioned earlier, I clear out the day, and all I have on my bedside is, hey, tomorrow I have these things to do. And one more thing I would emphasize to, as a piece of advice to the women, the men, whatever genders people assume, is that you must make an undo list. We're so programmed to make a list of things that we want to do in a day, that subconsciously we don't manage to finish them, because there are a lot of things that we don't want to do, but we are focusing our attention on. So what I tried doing is I actually made a list of things that I did not want to focus my time or energy on
Mm.
at any cost. And I made that list, and believe you me, it actually worked, because when I know what, it's actually easier when people say, hey, what do you want to eat versus what do you don't like to eat, because the don't list is much shorter. So when
Mhm.
I made that list of things that I didn't want to do in that day, I actually ended up finishing everything I wanted to and had free time.
Mm.
So my advice would definitely be, make that undo list. And when the day is over, let it go. And of course, have that dream, because without that, you can't find your purpose. If you don't have a reason, how do you find your purpose?
Mm.
That's the
Mm.
guess.
Yes, that is a wonderful answer. And I love the fact that um undo, undo list is powerful. It makes me think of unlearning. We've been programmed to
Yeah.
learn a lot of things that literally using the great example of social media. Um, Everything on social media is just not what it is.
No,
And
it isn't.
it's supposed to inspire you versus cripple you. And a lot of times we're already pressured with a lot of things as women and men in general, as people. But it is important to know that we need to be intentional about our days. Our dreams, our purpose is honestly the same thing, our passions. What are we here and called to do? Right? That's the personal understanding that through faith, through understanding truth and understanding who we are, and there was a purpose anyway, how do we implement it every day? So I just love that. I want to close out the last question with just a simple statement. If you could take the word purpose and apply it to the audience, how would you do that?
Your purpose has to be something that makes you smile and laugh, because life is too short to spend even one day without that smile. So, whatever your purpose is in life, I would definitely urge you to make sure that it makes you smile and laugh, because every day that you smile and laugh, you add an extra day to your life. And
Mm,
that's important.
amen. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us. For anyone that is looking to reach out to you, whether they want to utilize your expertise, get to know you, or learn more about your story, how would they be able to reach you?
Thank you for this, Edith. It's absolutely been a pleasure. And if anybody does want to reach out to me, I do have a website, which is poojapodarmarwa.com. And you can reach out to me. I am on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. So whichever platform you are on, I am Pooja P Marwah on all the platforms. So feel free to reach out, or you can reach out to Edith and she will get you to me. But it's absolutely been a real pleasure to do this. And I can't imagine that we're sitting across the world, literally across the world, and having the conversation of a lifetime. So
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem. This has been wonderful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For anyone that's looking to reach this lovely woman, we'll have her information in the description box. And until next time, you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.